think the young British rookie Lando Norris, he's not been too bad. I think he's winning the quali battle at the moment, 8-4 or something like that. So he's doing alright on 1 lap pace. But I think the races he's been alright. But Sainz has been better than him. He's one of my drivers of the season, I think, actually. Yeah, Norris has scored 24 points and Sainz has scored 58. I think that's right. Might be a bit wrong, but that's the rough numbers. So Sainz has done better in the races, but he's also the more experienced driver. He's been in F1 for over 90 races. He's been in F1 for 4 years. And this is Norris's rookie season. So of course, the more experienced driver is going to do better. But I've been impressed with him this year. I think he's done alright. I think he's done well. But when Norris gains that experience, how is he going to do? He's going to do better, of course. He's going to learn. He's going to learn stuff. The question is, how much better is he going to do? Is he going to beat Sainz? Or is he going to not beat Sainz? I think it'll be close in the second season. Don't know how close it will be, but I think pretty close. But yeah, Carlos Sainz has been the best midfield driver for me this year. He's done really, really well. He's kept a calm shoulder, calm head, delivered those points. Almost every single opportunity he's been there to score those points. And he's leading the Formula 1.5 championship right now. I feel like that's my mid-season review of the 2019 season in Formula 1 pretty much over. Talks about Hamilton, Bottas, Gasly, Verstappen, Vettel, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris. I'll talk about Williams. Oh, Williams. What a dreadful season they're having. I think they're on to have their worst season ever in the sport. They're only on 1 point. That's what I think I'll talk about the person who scored up, Robert Kubica. Now, Robert Kubica, gotta say, congratulations on your comeback. Just getting to Formula 1 is an achievement, just to be celebrated. I don't think anyone thought that he'd make it to Formula 1. He had a devastating rally crash in 2011, which partially severed one of his arms. He could have died in that crash. He survived, and 8 years later, he's in Formula 1. That is just an unbelievable comeback. He can really be proud of himself for that. But I think some of us got a bit ahead of ourselves during those celebrations last year as he was announced. And people said, you know, he might do really well. He might be the best Williams driver. He might be amazing. And I think those Kubica fans got a little bit ahead of themselves, I think. Understandable. I'm not going to say they're idiots, but yeah, got a bit carried away. Because more often than not, he's been a second or more off the pace of George Russell, another young British rookie. The other two being Lando Norris and Alex Albon. Yeah, Russell for me has been the better Williams driver of the two. He's leading both the quali battle, the race battle comfortably, actually. It's not a competition for that, except for the 1 point that Kubica scored, which completely skews it in his favour. Got a feel for George Russell there. But people know that Russell's been better. People know. Even the Kubica fans know. So yeah, he's been better. And, you know, George Russell, he might feel bad when he's driving the worst car on the grid for his rookie season. But it's only his rookie season. It's his first season. He's got his whole career ahead of him. And he too could do some great things. You know. I wouldn't be surprised if Mercedes offers him a contract maybe in a couple of years' time. Who knows? Lewis Hamilton's not getting any younger. He's 34 years old. Good grief, it's hard to believe he's 34 years old. You know, Lewis Hamilton's one of the first drivers who I've followed their entire career. You know, when I started watching occasionally in the mid-2000s, Hamilton made his debut when I was 7 years old, and I was watching F1 by then. And he was the first driver I really followed, and he was my favourite driver. You know, Lewis Hamilton is the guy I have to thank for being a massive F1 fan. It was him who really got me into the sport, and I'm sure many other British people at the time. There was massive hype for this young 22-year-old rookie who came into a race winning McLaren and nearly won the championship in his rookie season. Nobody else ever did that. It was amazing. He beat Alonso, the reigning two-time champion at the time. Amazing. You know, I always think of him as young because of that. Hard to believe that he's 34 and near the end of his career. He's not finished yet. He's got a few more years to break some records, and I'm sure he'll do it. But he's the guy who I've got to thank for getting me into the sport. Quite like this area, by the way. It's really lovely. Yeah, he's the guy I thank for getting me into Formula 1. If it was for him, I'd still be a fan, but not a massive fan. Yeah. I think I became a proper fan this decade. I started watching in the 2000s, but this decade I became a big fan. Remember the early 2010s when Vettel was winning and dominating in the Red Bull era, and I hated Vettel. The stupid index finger when he did that every single time he won. I hated it. I'd chop his finger off. I wouldn't do that now. I've matured. I was 10, 11, 12, 13 when he was winning. I was an immature child, petulant child. I'm a changed man now, at 19. But yeah, I was just ranting and going on, Facebook Messenger, YouTube, writing comments. Vettel's a piece of shit, I hope he dies, and all that stupid stuff, which I cringe reading my old YouTube comments from about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I really cringe. God, I was such an idiot. I was such an immature, childish idiot when I was 12, 13 years old. And when Ricardo beat him in 2014, 14-year-old me, I was over the moon. I was like, oh yeah, Vettel fraud, exposed. That's what I was saying. Yeah. Yeah, at that time I was a Hamilton fan. He was the guy who I wanted to win. And I still wanted him to win during the hybrid era, and then I just came across people like Ricardo, people like Albon, people like Leclerc. I just prefer them. I don't hate Hamilton. I think he gets too much hate. He's the guy who's winning. People are like, oh, he's just the best guy. Oh, he's a shit driver. Schumacher would kick his ass. Let's not forget though, Hamilton didn't cheat to win his titles. He didn't do any of that dirty shit. Schumacher did. And for that reason alone, I want Hamilton to beat Schumacher's records. That one reason for me, that decides it. So I've talked about Formula 1 quite a bit now, actually. What really got me into it, I hang over on Reddit now. Used to be F1 fanatic and YouTube and all. Now it's mostly Reddit. I hang out with other F1 fans, and even Sid, one of my friends who I got him into Formula 1. He occasionally watches it now. We sometimes discuss on WhatsApp group calls with Aaron as well about it. But yeah, I can't wait for the rest of the season. I was thinking halfway through the season it's going to be rubbish. It's going to be terrible. We've had 4 amazing races in a row. Austria, Silverstone, Germany and Hungary. 4 brilliant races in a row. We've been spoiled this summer. Summer's been fantastic for Formula 1 fans. Can't wait to see how Albon does. I hope he does well. I think that's the talking point for the rest of the season, is Alex Albon, how he's going to do, and how Danny Kvyat's going to do in the Toro Rosso, and how Pierre Gasly's going to do in the Toro Rosso. I think Pierre Gasly's got an awful lot to worry about. He could lose that Toro Rosso, so if he doesn't perform, he could be out of Formula 1. That's enough Formula 1. On to tennis. I watched the Wimbledon final about a month ago, the 2019 Wimbledon final, and I really thought that Roger Federer was going to win that match. And he was 8-7, 40-15 up. And I think I recorded a reaction video to that. I think I did. I'm happy I did. I can look back on that video in 10 years' time and think, oh, look at me, being so excited, and then getting heartbroken about it. 8-7, 40-15, he had 2 championship points on serve. And I tell you what, if he won that, the GOAT argument would be over. The discussion would be over. Federer would be the greatest ever. He's 38 fucking years old. He is old for a tennis player, not for general life. General life is still got quite a way to go at 38. Still a lot of life to be lived. But as far as tennis player goes, he's near the end of a career. Nobody else has done that well at 38. He is breaking boundaries as Roger Federer. And if he won that, the argument would be over until another player came along and started winning and breaking records. But Djokovic, the guy is so clutch. He has the best mentality out of any tennis player I've ever seen. His mental strength is unbelievable. Yes, he's 6 years younger and he's got the age advantage. But Federer and Djokovic, they were on the same level. They were throwing punches at each other. And neither of them looked tired. Federer didn't look tired, Djokovic didn't look tired. What won it was Federer making errors in the tiebreaks. And I don't think Djokovic made a single error in any of those 2 tiebreaks. He was perfect. Not a single one. Just brilliant from Djokovic. It's perfection, really. But yeah, I was never a Djokovic fan. I called him Serbian swine once last year. It just came out of my mouth. Last year's. Is it when he beat Nadal in that amazing 5-set match last year? Brilliant match. It's like, oh, you Serbian swine. It just came out. I didn't mean. I look back on those comments and think, didn't grow up, did I? What I did. I was an adult at 18. Young adult. Take the word young into account. Still got a lot of growing up to do. But yeah. Djokovic, you know, he has the best mental strength out of any player I've ever seen. In terms of peak, of course I got to talk about the big three now. Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal. These three are the three greatest tennis players in history. And they are breaking every single record. Federer's won 20 Grand Slams, Nadal's won 18 Grand Slams, Djokovic has won 16 Grand Slams. They are the three most successful players in the history of men's tennis. The stuff they are doing is just fantastic. But I'm a Federer and Nadal fan, I don't like Djokovic. But I will admit, with my 19 years behind me, getting more mature, I'm starting to just acknowledge athletes, even though I don't like them. This is not something I would do 5 years ago, but now I'll do it. Djokovic was fantastic in that match and he deserved that title. And Federer, unfortunately, wasn't good enough. But yeah, in terms of being a tennis fan, tennis was my first love. I loved tennis since I was a baby, practically, because my mum loved it. None of my family like Formula One. They hate Formula One. I got into it myself. But tennis, it's a family thing. Family loved it. I watched it. I loved it. And Federer and Nadal, their rivalry in the 2000s in particular, is what got me into tennis. I will never forget that Wimbledon 2008 final. Best tennis match of all time in my opinion, and I'm so happy I got to witness that live. But I'm also not happy that I was only 8 years old and I didn't really fully appreciate or understand what was happening at the time. I remember bits and pieces. I definitely watched it live, I remember that. And I was rooting for Nadal. My mum initially was rooting for Federer, but I converted her into a Nadal fan. I was a kid, I was probably easily persuasive to my mum. Yeah, really happy that we were Nadal fans, because that's, I think, is what really allowed us to enjoy that match. Because the player we wanted to win, he won. So yeah, really happy about that. Unforgettable match, fantastic match. Can't praise it enough. And that match really solidified me as a massive tennis fan. I used to play tennis all the time as a kid. I even went to a tennis club when I was a kid. In year 4 when I was 9 years old in primary school. I won Player of the Week once. Yeah, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, what they've done, I'm thankful. Yeah, those two made me a tennis fan. And when they retire, in fact when all my sporting heroes retire, mainly in tennis and Formula One, Federer, probably, it's going to happen. He's 38. There's not much time for him, unfortunately. When Federer retires, when Nadal retires, people like, I'm not a much fan anymore when he retires, when Vettel retires, even though I'm not a Vettel fan. It will hurt. Hello. I'm still walking around. Bye bye. Yeah, still walking. I'm talking to myself. Yeah, I am. I'm making a video on my phone. Sorry, that was my grandmother. But yeah, when those 4 retire, it'll hurt. Because they were my main childhood, I'm not going to say heroes, that's a bit cheesy, a bit cringy, but they were the people who were around when I was a kid. And I followed them as a kid, those 4. And I'll add Alonso and Raikkonen to that list. Alonso's already retired, Raikkonen hasn't. But yeah, those people, I'll remember now. I'll probably tell my grandkids when I'm an old man. I watched Federer, I watched Nadal, I watched Djokovic, I watched Hamilton, I watched Vettel, I watched Alonso, all those people in their primes, winning, competing against each other. That was my childhood. I even had arguments on the internet about it. Like an angry, crazy kid. I'll tell them how great they were, how fantastic they were at what they did. And US Open's coming up in the tennis. It's not really a tournament I've really watched, even though it is one of the 4 Grand Slams. Wimbledon and French Open, I really follow those because they're kind of my time zone. I'm in England, so they're kind of similar time zone to me. I do want to go to Wimbledon one day, by the way. I think it'll be fantastic to go to Centre Court. Just bring a few friends and family over. I'd love to go there. That's on my bucket list. But yeah, French Open, Wimbledon, those are the ones I follow. Australian Open I try to follow. I watch the finals, but I don't really watch the earlier matches. But and then US Open I usually don't bother because I just cannot watch any of it. But yeah, that's coming up. Who do you think is going to win? I think Djokovic. I think he's still in brilliant form since Wimbledon last year. He had a sort of slump in 2017 and then the second half of 2016 where he just didn't win anything. It happens to everyone. Sports, it's a mental game more than anything else. And he just wasn't in the right place mentally. But since Wimbledon last year, something clicked for him. He's been fantastic since, just like Max Verstappen in Formula 1. 2018. During the first half of it, something clicked for him. He's been flawless ever since. And I think that streak will continue. I think Djokovic will win, and I think it will be a Djokovic-Nadal final. And I think Djokovic will win it in 4 sets. That's my prediction. But yeah, I think that's about it really. And that's all I have to say. Now I could come up with a name for this series. I think I'll make it a weekly thing. Maybe not weekly, after every single F1 race or every single tennis tournament, I'll just get my phone out, my Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Yes, I had to flaunt it. I had to, sorry. I'll get my phone out and just talk a bit about what happened. So yeah. Car's struggling to reverse there. That one. Struggling to reverse. Yeah, he made it. Or she, whoever it is. Yeah. I think I'll make this, after every F1 race or after every tennis tournament. I could even talk about football, but I don't really watch Premier League anymore. I only follow the international tournaments like the World Cup and the Euros. I don't even watch what's that new one? Nations League? Something like that? Which pretty much is a discount, watered down World Cup. I don't care about it. But yeah. What could I call this? Coming up. See, this is how unprofessional this is. I'm coming up with a name on the spot while I'm recording. It's going to be a casual thing. It's not going to be professional. Professional's boring. Leave that to the workplace. This is just a hobby I do when I'm bored. I think Sid suggested ooze vlogs. Doesn't really work for me. Gotta say, I like how everything looks. Kind of 8 o'clock in the summer, somewhere around there. Getting a bit darker, but not completely dark. I find this very beautiful, actually. Just slide share. Yeah, I don't know what to call it. What can I call it? That's hard. Uzair talks sports? Nah, that's boring. Uzair's thoughts on stuff. Nah, that won't do either. Don't know what to call it. No idea. Jeez. I'll think of something. See, 60-year-old me, brain is sharp as a whistle. Easily could come up with something. Hello again. I'll go around one more time. Yeah. That was my grandmother again. Busy watering the hanging baskets. Just give me maybe about 5 minutes to try and think of a name quickly. Whose vlogs? That doesn't sound very good to me. Look at me. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at it. Look at that garden there. Isn't that lovely? That whole place there. Look at that dog statue. Ah. I genuinely cannot think of a name right now. God, this is harder than I thought. It's got to have my name in it. I think it's got to have my name in it. God. I really don't know what to call it. Just show some scenery while I think of a name. This is a casual thing. It's a casual thing. It's not meant to be professional in any way. If it was professional, I'd be sitting in an office or in a desk. I'd be wearing something smart and asking you to like and subscribe. I'm not going to ask you to do that. That's bullshit. I'm not doing that. Dislike the video if you want. You don't need to like the video. I don't care. Yeah, don't know. Just show that random light. I don't know what I'm doing now. This garden's lovely. Look at it. That is lovely. This is the best house in the entire road, entire street for me. This one. That's beautiful. It looks the same as well. Hasn't changed much the last 10 or so years. It's very similar. I'm procrastinating and I should be thinking of a name. I love this as well. See, I'm doing it again. This is my longest video. It's the first proper one. So it might kind of make sense. That light behind me. Beautiful sky. I like the dark. Shame that there's bad people around. See, the dark is my favourite time. Don't know why. Like this right now is perfect for me. I love it. Oof, look at this. Some old guy who's over 100 years old lives here, and he has not done anything to his front garden or his back garden. It's literally a jungle. Uzair talks sport. I think I could call it that. No, but then I only talk about 2 sports, that's the problem. The podcast of boredom. I could call it that. It's not a podcast though, but I mean, you can listen to it while you're on the go, I guess. Podcast is something you listen to, right? Well, I'm talking, so I guess you listen to me talking. So it is a podcast. I could call it vlog of boredom, but I'm doing this because I'm bored, so it has to have the word boredom in it or something. Don't know what I'm doing now. Don't know what I'm doing. Whoa. Going crazy. Life's short, go crazy. I'll stop doing that now. Another light. Uzair's Vlogs of Boredom. Episode 1. Do you know what? I'm just going to call it that because I just can't think of anything. So I think I'll end it here. Thanks whoever bothered to click on my channel and watch. Thank you, I guess. I guess I'll tag a few friends to watch this. Yeah. Thanks. Cheers. And I'll see you around sometime. Probably after the Belgian Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time. I don't know what I'm doing right now. So yeah, I think Uzair's podcast of boredom, because I can't think of a better name, so I'm going to call it. To be fair, there's a couple of guys who named their podcast Learning Development, so or LD, which is not a very good name. So anyway, take care, guys.